Hey, welcome back to the garden. Before I go outside, just wanted to show you that down there is the cucumber harvest for this week. Doing pretty well. Okay, let's go outside. So as you can see, it's been pretty rainy. Didn't get a whole lot done. Now, all of the onions got pulled out, so this is the last. The idea was we're going to let them dry here on the porch, but with all the rain we got, that didn't work out. We'll probably end up cutting these down, turning them to onion powder, continuing that process. This little pot here is lemongrass. This, we made the mistake of not, well, my wife made the mistake of not watering this. I suppose my fault too. But we moved it out. It's gotten rained on. It's definitely looking healthier. That seems to be recovering. The leftover chard, let me zoom out. This chard is over a year old at this point, and it's getting kind of rubbery. I should probably harvest some of it and dehydrate it. But it's just continuing there. Now, our goal probably for next week is going to be replacing this wooden bed that's just like falling apart. We've got the wood there and the end piece there to replace it. We just haven't got around to doing it. And part of the reason for that is it's really swampy at this end. Like you can see that bed over there is halfway underwater. And this is going to be the same thing, though it's not as swampy and falling apart. This is where the onions were previously. So the eggplant seems to be doing well. I've got one flower, if you look in there. We still don't know what this is. The assumption is it's probably... oh shoot, I can't remember. The stuff used for making guacamole. Shoot, I can't remember. Sorry, my brain's not working today. But we're going to see how that does. If that produces a tree, we're going to transplant it into dirt. If not, it'll get composted. Over here, these are some of the chili laboyos that we planted. And they seem to be healthy and doing okay. There's a third one. Now, we did an experiment. I've got these 3 chili laboyos over here. And over in that bed near the house, there's 2. And this was just to see how much sunlight they liked. See what does better. Over here, we've got the transplanted Thai chili plants. And they seem to be doing okay. They're getting bigger. That one's kind of fallen over a little. Here's a smaller one. Try to pull up the grass when it starts falling over so I don't get more. That doesn't reproduce. But anyways, that one has got some bug bites. That's doing okay. Overall, I think those chilies are doing fine. Now, I had too many chili plants, so the extras just got planted over here. And some aren't doing so well. They're still small. But if you look on the other side, that was a bunch of 3 that I just threw down. But that one's doing okay. That one seems to be doing okay. Those got a few bug bites. Same there, it's doing okay. Now, in this bed, as we were cleaning it up, we discovered that it's got leftover tomatoes growing. So, like, that's a tomato plant, and then over here, we've got some tomato plants growing. Now, last year, I had cherry tomatoes mostly in here, and I think there were a couple Romas planted in this area, and I didn't do as good a job as I should of harvesting, so it looks like they just dropped some fruit, which grew from seed. And that is actually starting to put on fruit if you look in there. And I've got flowers growing. So I don't know what these are going to end up being. I'm guessing it's cherry tomatoes just based on the shape there of the little cluster of fruit, but we'll see. And over here, we've got the chili laboyos that were kind of in the darker area, and the tomatoes. Can't remember the exact variety of these, but there is a determinate tomato. That one's doing okay. That one's mostly okay. Now, I transplanted everything I had, and some of them I didn't think were going to survive, and as you can clearly see, there's nothing surviving, and that is probably a very dead tomato, or will be soon. So I'm just going to move these cages over to cover the tomatoes that don't have cages. I think I'm going to need to buy one more cage, but so be it. Let's look over here. Calamansi is getting taller. That's over a foot tall, foot and a half, something like that. And still growing greens. No fruit or anything on it, but hopefully this has a really good root system. That's 2.5-year-old plant. And unfortunately this week I lost one of the chickens. She was egg bound, which resulted in a prolapsed vent, and we couldn't get that to stay in, and basically she wasn't doing well and was kind of like leaking poo out her backside, and that's no way to live. So we had to put her down. That kind of sucked. But the rest of the chickens, as you can see over here, are doing pretty okay. Okay, enough of the chickens. If you're not already gardening and producing some of your own food, you really should. Part of it, yeah, it's food security and all that, sort of. With all the inputs and fertilizers and stuff, I'm not sure how true that really is. Because I'm getting chicken feed, even though I'm composting the chicken droppings for fertilizer. But you also get some really good food. Like, I'm about to eat some breakfast tacos for lunch that are going to be eggs from the chickens with salsa that I canned last year. It's pretty good. Highly recommend.